Welcome to This Day in Baseball. We bring you everything from the thrill of victory to the agony of defeat and every milestone and oddball event in between. Today's game is courtesy of thisdayinbaseball.com. You can come for a peek, make friends for a lifetime. Before, after, and during the game, check out the links below the video and visit the player pages, parks, and teams as you listen to this blast from the past. You can catch us on every social media platform, and I want to do a special thanks to MLB Classic Radio Archives for this broadcast. Now, let's play ball.
Look sharp, feel sharp, be sharp. Use Gillette Blue Blades with the sharpest edges ever honed. Gillette's Cavalcade of Sports is on the air. From Yankee Stadium in New York, Gillette presents the World Series. Good afternoon, baseball fans everywhere. This is Gene Kelly with Mel Allen and Al Helper, greeting you for the Gillette Safety Razor Company as the Philadelphia Phillies and New York Yankees get ready for their third game in this 1950 Championship Classic. Fans for the tops in sports, tune in Gillette's Cavalcade of Sports the year round. Every Friday night, Gillette broadcasts the major boxing bout of the week for the Fistic Fancy Coast to Coast. Also, as they occur, leading events of turf, diamond, and gridiron are aired for Gillette fans everywhere. This broadcast is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the Commissioner of Baseball solely for the entertainment of our listening audience. And any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the descriptions and accounts of this game without the express consent of the Commissioner is prohibited. For the third day running, the Yankees have won two one-run classics. Rashi, the victor over Constanti. Yesterday, Reynolds winning over Robin Roberts. We have crisp autumn weather. The sun came out strongest at about noon today, New York time. But it appears as though we're not going to have any trouble at all with the weather for the rest of the afternoon. It's a typical New York Yankee classic. For the Yankees, of course, have come through 17 times to appear in World Series classics. The Phillies are 2 down. How many teams in the past, 2 down, to the defending world champions particularly, have come through to go on and win in titanic fashion? Only one. Across the river from Yankee Stadium at the famed Polo Grounds, the New York Giants did it in 1921. That year, it was a best 5 of 9 World Series. And such famous names as Art Neff, Wade Hoyt, Jeff Barnes, Carl Mays, Phil Douglas, and Bob Sharkey, along with the late Jack Fickus twins, participated in banner pitching classics. The Phils know they're down. And so today, skipper Eddie Sawyer, who was brought up in the richest of Yankee traditions as an organization man before having been selected as the pilot of the downtrodden Phils, has gone to a veteran left-hander, the gray-thatched southpaw Ken Heinzelman, 35 years of age, who surprised one and all, and possibly himself most of all, in 1949 by having won 17 games. This season, 75% of the time, his team has not given him many runs to work on. As a matter of fact, his earned run average is less than 4 per game. He has won but 3. He has lost 9. And of all the games he has started, only 4 have been complete successes. He has gone the distance, that is, 4 times. His 3 wins came twice over Cincinnati, once in relief, the evening when young Bubba Church was slammed under the left eye on a line drive by Ted Kozuski of the Cincinnati Reds, and then most recently in the final week of the season against the Boston Braves when he won out 12-4. He is what ball players refer to in the profession as a dog thrower, a fellow with a quick movement, not tremendous speed, soft stuff, a sneaky fastball. And as a matter of fact, his left-handed opponent today for the New York Yankees, New York-born Ed Lopat, who started Major League career with the Chicago White Sox, is the same type hurler. It is the general feeling among press and radio row and the baseball wiseacres that if there is to be a hitting explosion, it should occur today. Heinzelman was looked upon as a possible surprise starter when the season began, or at least when the series began. Stengel has gone along playing strict form. He hasn't had to play anything else. For you can't second-guess a home run. The home run by the immortal Joe DiMaggio yesterday, which defeated Roberts of the Phils by a score of 2-1. So that he began with Rashi, countered with Reynolds, and now, 2 to the good. He doesn't exactly have to gamble with a fellow who won 18 games and lost 8 in the 1950 season, Ed Lopat. Tomorrow, he is scheduled to start his wonderful rookie, Ed Ford, who won 9 and lost 1 during this past season. Whereas today, win or lose, Sawyer's choice is just as it was prior to the game. He didn't make the official announcement until 1 hour ago. It was to have been either the veteran Heinzelman, who would just as leave shoot ducks in his hometown of Peru, Missouri, as play ball, although he loves both of them equally, he tells me, or Bob Miller, the recruit up from Class B Terre Haute. So it is the veteran left-hander, Heinzelman, against almost the equally experienced Ed Lopez. Now, there you are for percentage sake. The one team that has come from behind 2 down. So that now the Yankees are odds-on favorites. If not to sweep the series in 4 straight, then certainly possibly to keep the series in New York without a move back to Philadelphia. Fans, the nationwide membership drive being conducted by the Crusade for Freedom ends the 16th of October, not far off. This great campaign to help lift the Iron Curtain everywhere has as its goal the signature of every American. As you know, the Crusade for Freedom was organized by private citizens under the leadership of General Lucius D. Clay of Berlin airlift fame and is endorsed by the White House and State Department. Membership in the Freedom Crusade involves signing the Declaration of Freedom and giving all possible support to Radio Free Europe, which supplements the voice of America. Join the Freedom Crusade in your hometown or write to Crusade for Freedom, Empire State Building, New York. In the background, perhaps you can hear, if your ears are cocked close to your loudspeakers, the fact that 30 of the 50 Yankee and Phillies players eligible for the 1950 World Series are graduates of the American Legion Junior Baseball program. Here today, as the guest of the Major Leagues, is Captain Bill Irwin Post, number 3317 from Oakland, California, which has won the National American Legion Junior Baseball Championship for the past 2 years. A bit of irony there for coming to the Major Leagues to take over as the skipper of the World Championship New York Yankees 2 seasons ago was Casey Stengel, who had piloted a veteran Oakland team to a championship. And the methods he used on the Pacific Coast League champions are those that he brought here to the Yankee Stadium in New York. Now, the physical setup of this ballpark is entirely different than that we had at Shibe Park. Down the right field line, it is 296 feet away for home run territory. Down the left field line, 301 feet. The barriers here are not high. In dead right and dead left, you scale a small concrete and chicken wire fence of approximately 4 to 5 feet. In other words, it isn't a matter at all of the height of the flight of the ball as it sallies out there, home run bound. But as the park tapers off to the terrace, left center, dead center, and right center, the fence grows higher. In some sections, it is as high as 10 in left center deep, close to the 461-foot mark, where the monuments of the late Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, and the great manager, Miller Huggins of the New York Yankees, stand. Then there is a wire fence that goes up about 25 feet. Very rarely have home runs been hit there. The Bambino did it a couple of times, as did Lou Gehrig. Jimmy Fox of the Championship Athletics in the early 30s and late 20s did it as well. But most of the home runs are hit to dead right and dead left. There is more ample territory for the outfielders to cover. As a matter of fact, the Yankees have predicted that the left fielder, Sisler, who has had no experience at all in this mammoth ballpark, is going to have a bit of difficulty in fielding out there. For there is almost, it seems, always a crosswind blowing in from left and out from right. In just a moment, as the players are assembled, the Phils in their traveling pearl gray and red uniforms along the third base line, the familiar Yankee spangles of white with blue stripes, the umpires at the plate, and I believe we're going to have again the 30 seconds of silent prayer to give thankfulness of living in this great country of ours, to be followed by the national anthem. So we are going to pause approximately 30 seconds to join in the silent prayer.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please join the sky and me and let us all sing together? Oh, say, can you see by the very light what so proudly we hailed as the twilight has ceased, whose soft light and bright stars
National anthem is stirringly sung and led by soprano Lucy Monroe. Now for starting lineups in this third game, a pivotal contest. For the Phillies, Eddie Waitkus, first base. Richie Ashburn, center field. Willie Jones will bat third and play third. Sawyer is going to a semi-platoon today against a left-handed low pat. Ennis will bat fourth and play right field, Del Ennis. Dick Sisler will bat fifth and play left field. Granville Hamner will bat sixth and play shortstop. Andy Semenuk, who is still favoring his bat ankle, will bat seventh and catch. Rookie Mike Goliath will bat eighth and play second base. And the pitcher Heinzelman, Heintzzelman, his first World Series appearance, his record for 1950, 3 wins, 9 setbacks. For the New York Yankees, leading off and playing shortstop, Phil Rizzuto. Batting second and playing second base, Jerry Coleman. Batting third and playing and catching, Yogi Berra. Batting fourth and playing center field, Joe DiMaggio. Batting fifth and playing left field, here is the platoon for Stengel, Hank Bauer. Batting sixth and playing first base, Johnny Mize. Batting seventh and playing third base, right-handed batting, Billy Johnson. Batting eighth and playing right field in his first World Series appearance this season, Cliff Mapes, and the pitcher is Lopat, 18 and 8. Now, 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System. The umpires are switched around, moving clockwise as the series progresses. And we will have Dusty Bogus calling balls and strikes, Charlie Berry at first base, Jocko Conlon at second base, and Bill McGowan at third, with the line umpires Al Barlick of the National League and Bill McKinley of the American League. So, in a moment, the struggle is about to get underway. The crowd is almost at capacity. At least 60,000, we're certain. The Yankees trot out onto the field. And led by them, well, Joe DiMaggio, his 9th World Series. And there's only one thing that Joe has on our confrere here today, Mel Allen. He's got one more series than Mel. So here's the gentleman that's going to give you the play-by-play word from Upper New York City, the Bronx, the Bombers. Mel Allen in his 8th World Series. Melvin?
And as we get ready to move into the final 4.5 innings of the third game of the World Series, it's my pleasure and privilege to introduce my colleague, who today is celebrating 2 things, broadcasting a World Series and his 32nd birthday. You're a young man.
Thanks, Pop. Kenny Heinzelman into the motion, throwing the batter, Billy Johnson, who struck out swinging on a curveball for the 3rd out back in the 2nd inning. And it's low and away, ball 1. Johnson batting right-handed. The pitch, this curve is in there for a called strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. I'm the kind of fella, Alan, that makes you feel like a grandpa, I know.
I I hear you, Mr. Kelly.
1-1. Pitching. Low outside, slow curve. Ball 2. Both left-handers today have whisked very good hooks in there. Lopat seems a bit quicker than Heinzelman. But the veteran left-hander of the Phillies has done a fine job despite being behind now, 1-0. Now the 2-1 pitch. Swinging, a ground ball toward third. A sweet stop by Willie Jones. Up with it, over to first, in time. Willie Jones came up with the best infield play of the day by going well to his own left on a ball that seemed base hit bound toward the hole between short and third, and speared it with his gloved hand, whipping over to first in time to retire. A fairly fast runner. One away. Here's Cliff Mapes, left-handed batter. And the first curve is low, ball 1. Ken Heinzelman working on the mound on Mapes, who pulls the ball tremendously when he meets it toward right. Is played that way right now. 1-0, 2 pumps by Heinzelman. He delivers outside and low, ball 2, slow curve. 2 ball, no strike count on Cliff Mapes. He pops out high, very high, to first baseman Wakers of the Phillies in his first trip up. 0 for 1, 2-0 pitch. Strike 1 called. He crossed him up with what we've been referring to as a sneaky fastball, throwing it tight near the fists. 2-1. 1 gone, nobody on. Last of the 5th. Score Yankees 1, the Phillies nothing. No more than 1 run has separated these teams all the way in 3 games. The pitch swinging and missing for strike 2. That was a kind of a speedy pitch with a wrinkle on it, breaking away from Mapes that time on the outside corner. Big strapping left-handed swinger. 2-2. On deck, the pitcher, Ed Lopat. The pitch, way outside and low to run it full, 3-2. Heinzelman began by running the count very deep. He passed Rizzuto and Berra, both of them in the first inning, and then walked Philligan in the third. Now he's behind again. The string pitch. There's a ball lofted to short left field. Sisler moving in, flicks down the glasses, moves under, reaches up, and grabs it for the putout. That's all for Cliff Mapes. The crowd in left field is on Sisler. He has not done a thing, as you know, with a stick moving into this 3rd game of the series. And, of course, he was the hero of the Sunday climax. Now the crowd again will cheer for Ed Lopat. Stocky, blonde, left-hander, born in New York, and now lives in Arkansas. Swings left-handed. He's 0 for 1. Was called out on strikes in the 3rd inning. Heinzelman's curve is taken by Lopat outside. Ball 1. 1 ball, no strike. Glenn to southpaw in the motion. Delivers. A swing, and there's a line drive toward right center field. In there for a base hit. Moving over to field the ball is Richie Ashburn. And Lopat is on with a 3rd Yankee hit. Coming with 2 outs in the last of the 5th inning. That was a well-tagged single. Over the head of the second baseman, Mike Gillette, to short right center. Now Scooter Rizzuto. His lack of height has paid off for the Pepper Pot shortstop today. He has been walked twice, and each time the count on him when he was passed was 3-0. A single to right center now. Lopat on at first base. 3rd Yankee hit. The pitch to Rizzuto, batting right-handed, is high and wide to the shortstop. Ball 1. Heinzelman has given up 3 walks and 2 to Phil. He pitches, and Phil swings. Uppercuts the ball to the 3rd row of seats upstairs. Yankee Stadium, as you know, is triple decked. It's a beautiful ballpark, designed especially for the national pastime. 1-1 on Rizzuto. New ball in play by umpire Bogus, calling balls and strikes. Heinzelman stretches, delivers. There's a bunt to the left of the plate, and then Bogus calls it foul. Semenuk is protesting that Rizzuto ran into his own bunted ball. And there's a 3-way conference along with umpire Bogus, created by Jones from 3rd, the pitcher Heinzelman, and catcher Semenuk. It goes as foul, strike 2. Bogus saying that he immediately called it foul, bouncing off the left of the plate and then moving toward the right. So the count on Phil, 1-2. Score 1-0. The New York Yankees over the Phillies. Yankees home for the first time in the series now. Lopat with a warm-up jacket leading off first. Not too close to guard by Wakis, the first backer. The stretch by Heinzelman, the pitch. He swings. There's a blooper to second. Goliath under, grabs for the putout. He hit it off the handle, and the crowd for a moment got themselves a thrill since Phil took a very healthy cut. But it was an off-the-handle blooper right to the second baseman, Mike Goliath, for the 3rd out. So, in the Yankee half of the 5th inning, no runs, a single to right center by pitcher Eddie Lopat. The Yankees' 3rd hit. No errors by by the Phillies, and Lopat left on. 5-inning totals. New York, 1 run, 3 hits, no errors, 3 left. The Phillies, no runs, 4 hits, 1 error, and a very costly one at that. 4 men left on. I've noted here today that the crowd has been a bit more demonstrative. Of course, it's sizable. There must be easily 60,000 backing the Yankee Stadium stands. The Phils, of course, so hungry for 35 years for their first pennant since 1915, naturally had a very partisan audience down in the city of brotherly love. The Phils are down for the 3rd straight time. They have never held the lead in any of the games. And their first offensive offering here in the top of the 6th inning is going to be the towhead, Richie Ashburn, who has played very well in the field and has done well enough with a stick except in this game. Lopat's wide sweeping hooks, his roundhouses, his down-breaking dippers have caught Ashburn paralyzed twice, making him swing and a miss for strike 3 on a curve in the first, and he took a fastball crossing him up in the 3rd. 0 for 2 is Richie. Has a choke grip on the bat, well up on the stick, batting left-handed. Lopat motions, throws. A fastball wide of the plate, ball 1. Eddie came down more or less crossfire that time, moving to his own left. Ashburn to be followed by Pudd'nhead Jones and Del Ennis. Infielder Johnson at 3rd, very shallow. Lopat throws, and he half swings and gets a foul. Zipped off the handle of his bat to the left of the plate and behind. Ball 1, strike 1. Top of the 6th. Time running out on the Phillies, who have not found the answer to producing the cluster. For that matter, neither team has. No more than 1 run scored at any one time in any one inning. 1 ball, 1 strike to Ashburn. The left-hander delivers. He swings and cuts a high pop foul out of play behind the plate, and just missing the screen to our left. Our position for calling this play-by-play on Gillette's Cavalcade of Sports, for Mel and myself and Al Helfer, is perfect. We are right smack dab behind the plate. Not too high, not too low. Just shallow enough so that none of the action out on the field escapes us. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Lopat ready, throws. Ashburn swings as a high foul fly, moving to the stands in short right field, out of play. Some 15 or 16 rows into the boxes. The left fielder has no foul territory at all to play to speak of. In other words, most balls hit to the territory allowed would be handled either to the out-racing shortstop or 3rd baseman. Left and right are pretty flush for the gardeners out there. Again, ready for 1 and 2. The pitch by Lopat. He swings and misses. He struck him out. Now there's an oddity. During the 1950 season, Ashburn never struck out as many as 3 times in one game. And so he does it for the first time in 1950 in the 3rd World Series contest. That's the 3rd time Lopat has nabbed him on strikes, and Eddie's 4th strikeout victim. He got him on a curve and a dandy. 1 down. Willie Jones, 1 for 2. Single through the hole to left field, back in the 3rd inning. Batting right-handed. Takes inside on a cross-up fastball. Ball 1. With a hit and run on, with Wakus at first base in the 1st inning, Jones dribbled out. Lopat to Mize. And then single to left with 2 gone in the 3rd. Now 1 away, 1-0. Strike 1 call. That thing looked like a sailor. It seemed to rise up a bit and then fall plump into the mid of Tachiyoki Berra. 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 gone, nobody on. Phil's top of the 6th. Score Yankees 1, Phillies nothing. Pitch, a swing and a foul right to the Yankee dugout. Now, during regular season play, I suppose the Yankees would bring out the white terry towels. This is kind of a grim affair for both teams. The money is on the line. The proficiency, 4 out of 7. The first to prove. And the Yankees, of course, 2 games up. Now 1 and 2 count on Jonesy. North Carolinian from Laurel Hill. Lopat in the motion. Fires. Jones swings. A chopping, zipping ground ball foul along the 3rd base side of the diamond. And a fan reaches over from one of the boxes. And while he had a little effort, not having taken his physical training lately, I surmise, he finally picked it up for a souvenir. Lopat uses this moment now to rub up the ball a little bit, go to the rosin, marshal his own physical forces, for he is well ahead. He is 1 man down, and the count on a long ball hitter, Jones, 1 and 2. Now ready. See Lopat getting the sign from Berra. Stocky catcher in a rocking chair. Set the pitch. He throws. Jones cuts. There's a high twisting pop foul. It's going out of play. Mize gives it a try, but to no avail. Dipping in. So the battle now between Jones, the hitter, and Lopat, the pitcher, drags out a little bit. The tempo of the first game was comparatively slow for a 1-0 duel. It ran better than 2 hours. Yesterday's was better than 3 hours, but it ran into extra innings for the first time since 1946. This is about midway between. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Left-hander Lopat delivers. Jones swings and misses. He struck him out. That appeared to be a curveball thrown inside. So he fans the first 2 men to face him in the top of the 6th. Mel tells me that Lopat has never been known, particularly as a strikeout artist. And while he now has, all told, 5, getting Ashburn 3 times, and Seminick once, and with Jones now, he is really delivering that curve. This is a well-scouted series. It's evident that the fellows have scouted both clubs. New weaknesses. The pitching comes to the fore. And now, the most dangerous hitter potentially of the Phillies, Del Ennis, is a high curve around the visor of the cap, ball 1. Del has bounced out to third for the third out in the first and popped out to Rizzuto on a handle hit curve for the third out in the third. He has yet to get his first World Series hit, though he led the Phils in hitting in 1950 with an average of .313. 1-0 on him. Set for the pitch, delivering. Strike 1 call, fastball. A good half of the diamond, that is the inner portion of it, is covered now by the first base stand shadows, as well as the entire right field sector, where Mates, the Yankee outfielder, is in a crouch right now, ready for any eventuality. Ennis primarily hits to left and left center. They play him to pull to left. 1-1. The pitch. A swing. A line drive toward right field. May be good for extra bases. Sitting in there, rolling to the wall. Ennis rounds first, heads to second. Mates plays it off the wall. Goes to second. It's a stand-up double. The first hit of the World Series for Del Ennis. And the Phils now have a runner in scoring position with 2 men out. The Phils, you know, lead the Yankees in extra base hits. For the Phillies, that is their 4th double. They have 1 triple, no home runs. DiMaggio's homer yesterday has been the lone distance clout of this classic. A right field double hitting to the opposite field. Del Ennis. Dick Sisler. 0 for 2. Batting left-handed, swinging. There's a line drive to left field. Base hit. Ennis rounding third. He's going to score, and the game is tied 1-1. Dick Sisler, who had been one of the hitting goats, I shouldn't say hitting, I should say hitting advisedly, a batting goat, comes through when the Phils need him most, and it's a brand new ball game, boys and girls. 1-1. It comes with 2 outs. Both Ennis and Sisler hit safely for the first time in the series, and they make it pay off. This has all occurred with 2 men gone, just as the Yankees scored with 2 outs. Back in the 3rd inning. The batter is Granville Hamner, with Sisler leading off first base. Lopat stretches, delivers. Hamner swings and misses on a down-breaking curveball. Strike 1. Sisler's ball barely eluded the grasp of pint-sized Rizzuto, and it may well have been that an average-sized fellow could have grabbed that, but Phil certainly gave it a try. It rolled into short left center field. 0-1 count to Hamner, 1 for 2. The pitch, a butt attempt is missed. A snap throw to first. He's out. A great play by Yogi Berra as Hamner attempted to choke up the defense by laying down a butt to put men on. Berra snapped through to Johnny Mize, who put the tag quickly and aptly on Sisler. The play went the catcher, Berra, to the first baseman, Johnny Mize, and the Phillies are retired. The count, incidentally, had gone 0-2 on Hamner. 1 run earned, 2 hits, the run driven in by Sisler, no errors by the Yankees, and nobody left on. Berra and Mize took care of that. 5.5 innings. The Phillies won, the Yankees won. Sid Gordon, slugging outfielder of the Boston Braves, says that in his book, the Gillette Super Speed Razor tops them all. Yes, and here he is to tell you why.
Fans, That's because it gives me the swellest shaves I've ever had. No other razor I know about can match it.
There's nothing to take apart or put together. Nothing to jam or clog, right?
Not only that, Gene, but it changes blades easily and rinses clean in a jiffy.
To sum it up, the Gillette Super Speed Razor is the only razor that combines real shaving satisfaction with instant blade changing and double-edge economy. What's more, the Gillette Super Speed Razor is the greatest shaving value ever offered. You get it in a handsome styrene case with a 10-blade dispenser. A big $1.75 value for only $1 at any convenience store. Now to the last half of the sixth inning. Heinzelman set on the first pitch, and the batter up there is Jerry Coleman, who took called strike one. A down-breaking curveball. Coleman, batting right-handed, is 1 for 2 and has wrapped home the one Yankee run. Ball one is wide of the plate on a slow curve. 1-1. Well, the excitement that time, and you could see that the fans, though primarily Yankee rooters, were for the underdog at the moment as the Phils tied it up. 2 pumps by the left-hander. Heinzelman delivers. Wide and high. Ball 2. 2-1 count. That's the first real excitement that the Red Caps visitors had given the fans here at spacious Yankee Stadium. A 2-1 count to Coleman. Last of the sixth. The pitch. The swing. A line drive. Left field. In there. Good for a base hit. Sisler fields it quickly. Coleman turns at first, and the whip comes into the relay man, Granny Hamra, holding Jerry at first base. That is the fourth Yankee hit. All of them singles. And Coleman has 2. Yogi Berra, who walked once on a 3-2 count in the first and tapped out weakly to the left of the mound in the fourth inning. 0 for 1 officially. Looking for the bunt, he cuts on the first one and fouls it upstairs, third deck. Strike one. All of these World Series broadcasts are being carried to our armed forces around the world through the facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. And I am sure that the members of the 28th Keystone Division in Indiana are happy that Kurt Simmons is here today. There's a quick throw over to first, but Coleman is back with room to spare safely. A man on, Jerry Coleman, sprightly second baseman of the Yankees, with a left field single. The pitch to Berra, the swing, a line drive toward right, foul. Boy, that thing was tagged. And Berra put all of his chunky beef into that swing. The wind today is playing half with the long ball. And you'll note there have been a couple of Texas League singles. Humpback liners, as they call them. 0-2 count to Yogi. Left-handed batter. Infield looking for the double play now. The stretch by Heinzelman. He pitches. Wide and high of the plate. Ball 1. 1-2. Score tied. 1-1. A Yankee run in the third. A Phil run in the sixth. Heinzelman quick pitching now. Delivers again. A high, sweeping, slow curve. Too high. Ball 2. 2-2. 1 on. Nobody out for the New York Yankees. Last of the sixth. Endeavoring now to get back that run. At the Phils garnered off Eddie Lopat. The stretch. He pitches. He swings and sends a high pop near the plate. Seminick appears to have the room to the right of the plate. Under, squeezes. He's out. Berra pops out about 30 feet behind and to the right of the plate to the catcher. One gone. And now, Joe DiMaggio with one away and a teammate at first base. Joe has a single in 2 trips, and his single was of a variety we were describing to you just a moment ago. There's a crosswind here at the stadium. So the Yankee clipper steps in. Heinzelman throws. Joe takes high around the chin. Ball 1. Joe fly to short right to end it in the first inning, and then he got his single in the fourth, but was left standard as Heinzelman bore down. 1 ball, no strikes. Infield deep now to the left side, swinging a long fly ball deep to left field. Sisler has it and takes it. The runner at first, Coleman, faked off the bag for the moment as the relay came in by a Hamner, the shortstop, to second base. DiMaggio flies deep to left. 2 gone. Hank Bauer. Broad-shouldered outfielder, playing left field today. He had played right in the first 2 games. It's a quick throw to first. Coleman back safely, and Wakers didn't even bother to put the tag on him. No count yet on Bauer, who is 0 for 2. A grounder to the mound and a fly ball to right. Batting right-handed, very orthodox stance. Heinzman stretches, delivers. Bauer takes wide and high. Ball 1. I had the opportunity of seeing Bauer and Mates in the same outfield at one time, and they were the slugging leaders of the American Association. There's a high twister looping itself up toward the third deck along the first base line and dipping downstairs. You see the second deck here at the stadium juts back, and the upper deck moves out. And I think 3 rows of people get themselves a thrill for the chance. And it's a good-natured, though cool crowd today because of the weather. 1-1. He delivers. Hank swings. There's another one, this time definitely upstairs. And out of play. Strike 2. Score 1-1. The Yanks and the Phils in another thriller-diller. 1-0 the opening day. 2-1 in 10 innings yesterday, and 1-1 with 2 gone and a man on in the last of the 6th here today. Heinzman takes time for pause. Looks him over. In the stretch. The kick he throws. High, very high. And Semenuk had to climb up on the ladder that time to bring it down. Ball 2. Even up, 2-2. Coleman at first. Neither Berra nor DiMaggio have been able to move Jerry along. The big pitch. The runner breaks. He sends a very high pop behind second base. Goliat backtracking on the grass, 5 feet back, grabs it for the putout, and that's all for the Yankee threat in the last of the 6th inning. Give it to the second baseman, Mike Goliat. For New York, no runs. A leadoff single by Coleman, the Yankee 4th hit. No errors by the Phils, and 1 man left on. At the end of 6, the Yankees won, the Phillies won. As we pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System. Back at Yankee Stadium in New York, Phils fans, or at least those who are pulling for the Phils, stretch. And Mel, I don't know what it is. I know that most of these folks must be Yankee fans, but I think out of good sportsmanship and nature, they're stretching in both halves. What do you think?
Well, they often do that here at the stadium. There are a great many of out-of-towners, and I think so many of them are just stretching because it's the 7th inning without regard to partisanship. So there are those among them, naturally, who are Phillies rooters and are standing. Others decided that being a little cool, might as well get up right now.
I want my birthday cake still hot tonight, Alan.
Gee whiz, all those candles on there. You want me to hire somebody?
I'll blow my hands while I'm blowing out the candles. Here's Granny Hamner. Shortstop, 1 for 2. Single off Johnson, the third baseman's glove, in the 2nd, and a fly ball to right in the 4th. Pretty well hit. Nice catch by Mates. Low pat pitching. Granny swings and ticks it off foul. Berra trapped the ball and keeps it in play. He dropped it. Strike 1. Hamner to be followed by catcher Andy Semenuk and second baseman Goliat. 0-1. Eddie throws. Hamner swings. The ground ball through the middle out to center field. Base hit. Hamner takes the turn at first, and DiMaggio comes in and returns it to Rizzuto. That, incidentally, is the 3rd consecutive hit of Lopez. You see, Ennis had double to right with 2 down in the 6th, and Sisler had singled to left, and now here is another single. Bengoff, who is the bench jockey, or cop as they call him, and is a former Yankee of great renown. He caught here for Miller Huggins. Talks things over with Semenuk. Andy has 1 for 2. He singled through the hole between the bag and the shortstop in the 2nd, and then struck out swinging on a low pat curveball in the 4th. Hamner on with a through-the-middle ground single to center. And his 4th World Series hit. Infield moved in. Lopat stretches, delivers. There's a bunt toward the mound. Lopat up with it. Throw to first. He's out. The sacrifice works. He turned, as the left-hander will, in pivoting on a throw, and looked toward Rizzuto, but going in high on the slide was Hamner. So that Eddie had but 1 play, and the sacrifice goes down as a clean one. The pitcher, Lopat, to the second baseman, Jerry Coleman, covering. at second. And the man upon whom it seems that every time we look up, Mel and I, has runners on for him. But he's failed to produce quite consistently, though he has played a very sparkling game of field. Mike Goliath, 0 for 2. Ground ball to the pitcher, ground ball to shortstop. Man on second, one away. The low pat pitch. It's swung on and grounded. Third base side, foul by 3 feet, and Johnson backhanded at that time. And this large crowd, appreciative of every effort, fair or foul, gives Mr. Johnson a nice round of applause. One away. The single by Hamner was the 7th Phil's hit. Score tied, 1-1. Top of the 7th. A man at second, and one man out. 0-1. Low pat set. Kicks, throws. Gillette swings. Line drive to center field. In there for a base hit. Here is Hamner, rounding third, heading to the plate. The throw comes in. He's safe. The Phils, who had failed to hit consistently, are producing here today. Hamner comes across with a lead run, and for the first time in the World Series of 1950, the Phillies are leading in a ball game. In right field, big 26 Mel is getting up to warm up out there. Might be a catcher, might be a pitcher, of course. Tom Ferrick, who now lives in Philadelphia, though he was born in this city, and has been great in relief roles for Stengel. The Phillies have Goliath at first. DiMaggio's throw just missed Tavera as Hamner split across the platter safely with a Phil's second run, and they now lead 2-1. Heinzman the batter, the infield looking for the bunt. Ken bats right-handed. Low pat pitches. Ken bunts. Foul. Lopat made a token throw down at second base, and little Phil Rizzuto had a leap in the air like a championship hurdle at that time as Goliath stormed in high on him. But it's foul, strike one. Yogi was like a cat on that ball, and Goliath would have been an easy prey out there at second base. Foul, strike one on the bunt attempt. Scored 2-1 now, top of the 7th. And this game picks up interest. The crowd, chilled by the weather, warms up to the situation. Johnson way in on the grass. Lopat ready, delivers. A pitch out. A throw to first. He's back safely. And a good trap is made by Coleman to save the ball from rolling away. The throw was low in the dirt. And Jerry fell to his knees and made sure that it put on an old-fashioned Pepper Martin body block. So Jerry was on the alert. He's played great ball this series. Goliath, of course, was safe. And on the pitch out, the count is 1-1. They could well afford the pitch out to Heinzman, you see. Very weak hitter, 0 for 2. And a cute throw to first by the left-hander. Bill White, who at one time was Yankee property and now hurls for the White Sox, is supposed to have the cleverest of that motion. He's a left-hander. 1-1. Here's the bunt to the right of the mound. A beauty. Up with it. Lopat bubbles it. Picks it up. Throws him out. A faster runner might have beaten that one out. But Lopat knew he had only one play, and in his anxiety, bobbled it for a moment, but retired Heinzman with room to spare. It's another sacrifice, and it is scored. The pitcher, Lopat, to the second baseman, Coleman, covering. That's the second sacrifice in this inning, and moves Goliath to the midway, just as Hamner was moved along by Semenix, getting himself up. Runner at second. Phillies lead 2-1. 2 gone. Goliath, 15-foot lead off the bag. Wake gets the batter. Eddie, 1 for 3. Batting left-handed. Lopat throws. Wake cuts the foul. A real zipper off Ferrer's mask and chest protector. You know, when Conlon became injured in the first game, he decided he was going back to the American League pad. It's air-filled, you know. He feels he didn't get enough protection. Jocko umpiring right now to the right of the bag at second. 0-1 count to Wakes. Lopat now taking a lot of his good old time. Chunky left-hander stretching to check Goliath at second. Delivers. Swinging. A fly. Off it pretty deep toward left field, but moving back and under his power and grabs it for the third out to retire the side. Weakest flies to left. They were playing him shallow, and Bauer had a charge back. That's the third out. In the seventh inning for the Phils, the lead run. There are 2 hits with a pair of sacrifices thrown in. The run scored by Hamner, driven in by Gillette. No Yankee errors, and 1 man Gillette left on. 6.5 inning score. The Phils 2, the Yankees 1. As Sid Gordon of the Boston Braves told you in his own words last inning, the Gillette Super Speed Razor can't be matched for shaving ease and satisfaction. Men, this razor gives you shaves worth talking about. Good-looking, refreshing shaves that really rate. What's more, it saves you time and bother, for it changes blades instantly, cleans instantly, and never jams or clogs. No wonder men everywhere say it's the most convenient razor they have ever used. Believe me, it's all of that and plenty more. Why not enjoy modern shaving comfort and convenience? Buy a Gillette Super Speed Razor at your favorite store. Without exception, it's the greatest shaving value ever offered. The Gillette Super Speed Razor comes with a 10-blade Gillette dispenser and a handsome serviceable styrene travel case. All in all, you get a big $1.75 value for only $1. The big cat, the whale hitter, John Myers, who was rescued when it appeared that his National League career was over by the Yankees this season and has come through in tremendous style. Leads off to face Heinzelman in the last of the 7th, and the Yankee fans storm up for a rally. Myers 0 for 2, batting left-handed, swings and cuts a high pop foul upstairs over our heads and out of play. Ferrick has now sat down in the Yankee bullpen, which is almost completely blocked from our view. They have an alley, you know, in right and left. 0-1 to Myers. The pitch taken inside near the hands and high. 0-1. John popped to second in the second, and it bounced out to the first baseman in the 4th. Ball 2 is a curve that just missed inside. It was around the belt, but too close. 2-1. Nobody out and nobody on for the Yankees, last of the 7th. Score, 2 for the Phils, 1 for the Yanks. The windup by Heinzelman, he pitches. The swing, a high fly to deep right field. Moving back under, and it's right near the wall, and grabs it. That ball was hit just about as well as any toward the right field sector. And Del Ennis was precisely right at the base of the 344-foot marker in right field territory. As a matter of fact, the fans out there were all standing up, someone ready perhaps to grab a possible souvenir. A long fly out to right field. 1 away, and now Billy Johnson 0 for 2, batting right-handed. Strike 1 call. Slow curve on the inside corner. Billy 0 for 2. Formerly a Jersey boy, now makes his home in Augusta, Georgia. No balls, 1 strike, 2 pumps by Heinzelman. He throws outside and low. Mr. Robert Tyre Jones. I imagine might be one of our listeners today, and leading citizen of Augusta, Georgia. Great baseball fan, Bobby. 1-1. 1 down. 2 pitches. Outside. Ball 2 to Johnson. 2-1. Russ Meyer, screwball pitching specialist, warming up for the Phils as a safety measure. 2-1. Swinging a foul upstairs, third deck, out of play. 2-2. Score 2-1. The Phils have racked up 8 hits against Lopat, and Heinzelman has forced the Yanks to have that total. 4. Yankee run in the 3rd, Phil runs in the 6th and 7th. Heinzelman set now on the square count pitch. Delivers a zipping foul right to the lower box seats and right, and the crowd oohed as if to say, this is safety week, fans. Get out of the way. Here comes that ball. Square count. Willie struck out in the 2nd and bounced out the 3rd in the 5th. Feet fairly close together. Waiting. Swinging, missing. Struck him out. A soft third ball. Well, there's no question that the psychology of the crowd is for the underdog. That is the club that is 2 games down. And for that kind of rooting, I guess that Yankee Stadium is as good a mecca as any place in the country. They are cheering Heinzelman's great effort, for he won only 3 games during the regular season and completed but 4. He faces Big Cliff Nate, 0 for 2, left-handed swinger. He pitches, and it's strike one call. That was a sneaky fast one that cut the knees on the outside corner. Dusty Vargas calling him behind the plate. Very ruddy complexion, chunky Texan. Pint-sized Cal Hubbard. 0-1. Swinging a ground ball, hit softly to second, up with it Goliath, quick to first, in time. Side retired. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left. Our Gillette 7-inning totals read like this. For the Phillies, 2 runs, 8 hits, 1 error, and the Phils have 5 men left. For the Yankees, 1 run, 4 hits, no errors, and 4 Bronx Bombers have been left on. I was talking with the aforementioned Tom Ferrick, the broad-beamed right-hander of the Yankees before the game today. Tom, as you know, is a Philadelphian. Matter of fact, he was asking us about the chances of the Penn football team this Saturday at Berkeley, California, against Pappy Waldorf's fine California 11. But then it switched, of course, to baseball. He felt that the difference between these two teams thus far was not exactly proficiency and ability, because the pitchers had the duke. It was, he said, experience. He said, let's face it, Kelly, these teams have been so well scouted by Bill Skiff and Johnny Noon of the Yankees and George Earnshaw and Jack Sanford of the Phillies that the experience here pays off. The movement of the feet around the box, the slight shift toward left or right, the knowledge that you have been a World Series performer. He says, this is my first year with the Yankees, but that's my observation. And I imagine it's as clean cut as any that you could look for. As the series now moves into the 8th inning of the 3rd game with the Phils leading 2-1, and Ashburn is the batter. Richie cuts and gets a handle foul to the left side of the diamond and well into the stand. Strike one. He has been struck out 3 times. 3 times the charm, Mr. Lopez. Stocky Ed goes to the rosin. He knows now that he has found this fellow 3 times. He's got to watch him. Johnson shallow at third base. The windup. He pitches. He swings. A ground ball pass flies to right field. Looks for a base hit. Ashburn takes the turn at first. Nate's up with the ball. Whips a real line to the cutoff man, Jerry Coleman at second. Lead-off single in the 8th inning. And again, the hurry call comes from pitching coach Milkman Jim Turner and manager Stengel to the Yankee bullpen, where I surmise again Ferrick will be called upon. Oh, there's another one out there again now. That's the bullpen catcher, I guess. No, Tom Ferrick. Okay. And Mage Halk out there. Bullpen catcher. Ashburn on with a single. The Phil's 9th hit. The batter is Willie Jones. Infield looking for the bunt. Comes around. The bunt along the first base line, foul. In the first game of the series, when Hop supplanted Mize defensively, they said it was a great move by Stengel. And that time, again, you could see that Mize had a bit of difficulty bending to his own right as it went through the hole between first and second for a ground single to right for Ashburn. A runner on. Jones, 1 for 3. Quick throw to first, and the fleet Ashburn is back. In a running contest, I should imagine he'd run 1, 2, 3. If both clubs were involved. Ashburn, 0-1 to Jones, coming around again, squaring away for the bunt. There's one along the first base line. Mize up with it. One play, first base, Coleman covering, in time. The third sacrifice in 2 innings, moving Ashburn to second with 1 away. Play scored. Mize, the first sacker, to Coleman, the second baseman, covering first. For the most part, we've had pretty straight baseball here. The percentage, you see, the sacrifice. Pitch out by Berra on a fine pickoff play, which wound up in the 6th, you remember? I guess Sisler was so happy he forgot he was on first base. Now here's Ennis with a runner at second and 1 down. Lopat delivers. Close. Ball 1. Lopat now hurling a bit more cautiously than he did early in the struggle. For this is still a fine ball game. So the Phils have out-hit the Yankees 9-4. They leave them 2-1. So the defenses had to be on the alert. And the pitchers have had to bear down with runners on. Ashburn, 15-foot lead off second. A stretch by Lopat. He pitches Ennis, who swings. It's a high fly ball. from left field. Moving over for the ball is Bauer. DeMarge moves in, says, I'll take it, and the center fielder makes the putout. So the putout was made in medium left center field. And it flies to DiMaggio. 2 gone. Now Sisler, who had been the victim of catcalls, particularly those seated in left field, but now has whetted the imaginative appetite of the fans with his single that batted home Ennis for the first throw run in the 6th inning. Dick 1 for 3, though picked off by Berra to Mize in the 6th. Bounced out to first in the 4th and grounded out to Coleman in the 2nd. Two gone. The low pat stretch. Picking, he throws. Wide on a curve, ball 1. Sisler, a left-handed batter. 2-1 ball game. He pitches. Close. Ball 2. Inside. Well, the Phillies fans have been complaining that their favorites haven't hit. They're certainly out hitting the Yankees today, but the big problem has been hitting in the clutch with a runner on in scoring position. 2-0 to Sisler. Left-handed low pat. Studying, delivering. Swinging a foul. Right to our Gillette booth and in and out. Just to our left, it hit a typewriter. I think Mike Gavin, one of the New York writers who covers the Brooklyn Dodgers during the season, probably saying it shouldn't happen to Schotten. 2-1. Outfield pushed slightly toward the right, but they play him straight away in all sectors on Sisler. 2-1 pitch. Swinging a foul. Up high towards second base. Coleman calling for it in front of Mize. Mize says, I'll take it, and he does. Big ruddy complexion. John ran right in front of Gary that time to wind up the inning for the Phillies by grabbing Sisler's pop fly. First baseman. In the 8th inning, the Phillies no runs, 1 hit. No Yankee errors, and 1 man Ashburn left on at second. 7 1/2 innings have gone by in the 3rd game. The Phillies 2, the Yankees 1. Day after day, Gillette Blue Blades get the call from millions of men who want to look sharp and feel sharp. That's because these finest of razor blades give the slickest shaves the quickest and easiest in the book. Now, to save time, save fuss, buy Gillette Blue Blades in the Gillette dispenser that zips them out on rest. You change blades presto and also solve the problem of discarding used blades safely and easily. You see, this modern Gillette dispenser has a built-in compartment for the permanent disposal of old blades. When you remove a dull blade from your razor, slip it into the back of the dispenser. This double-duty magazine costs nothing extra. You get 20 Gillette Blue Blades, 40 shaving edges for 98 cents. 10 blades, 49 cents. Look sharp, feel sharp, be sharp. Use Gillette Blue Blades with the sharpest edges ever honed. 64,505 have paid their way into the stadium today. A banner stadium crowd, and now, defensively, Sawyer moves in, his fleet rookie up from Toronto, Notre Damer, Jack Mayo, M-A-Y-O. This is the 2nd time he has taken over a similar post in the series. Jack Mayo. He'll take over in left field. Of course, he hasn't batted officially yet, but for the time being, spot him number 5. Woodling is going to be set up now in the last of the 8th as a pinch hitter for Ed Lopez. Woodling, a left-handed batter, takes high, ball 1. Gino, of course, that started the first 2 games. He is 3 for 8 on a series play, hitting at 375. Heinzelman's curve is in there. A called strike 1. Last of the 8th. Woodling batting for the pitcher Lopez. Left-handed swinger. Heinzelman ready. Delivers. He swings and misses. Strike 2. Heinzelman, you'll see, is not one of these fellows that works up the perspiration very easily. And he has apparently kept on to a store of reserve in this game. He's a quick worker, but paces himself. Doesn't throw too hard. 1 and 2. The big pitch. A half swing, but a take. Low, ball 2. Those umpires watch the break of the wrists, the intent. On on those half swings. 2-2 count to Woodley. The pitch. He swings. There's a lazy pop fly going toward shortstop. Under it, Hamner, the shortstop, waiting, squeezes it for the first out. One down. Well, that means the Yankees will offer up probably Tom Ferrick in the Phil's half of the ninth inning. The Phillies lead 2-1. The Yankees, Mel points out, have hit but 5 bounces to the infield. Phil Rizzuto on twice with walks, and the 1 Yankee run scored, and a pop fly to second. Swings and sends a zipper to third. A grass cutter. Jones spears. Goes to first in time. 2 up, 2 down. Last for the 8th. Third to first was the play. Of course, this is a big game for the Phillies. They drop this one, and it's a far gone conclusion. They're out of it. But a 2-1 standing, particularly since they come into the stadium by leading, if they should win, changes the complexion of the series entirely. The batter is Jerry Coleman, who is 2 for 3. And a run driven in. Looks at the low curve outside, right-handed swinger. Ball 1. This slender second baseman, it appears whenever the chips are down, performs greatly. He did so in his last World Series in 1949. 1 ball, no strikes. Heinzelman throwing. Jerry takes inside. Ball 2. 2-0. Yankees, of course, are trying to throw this fellow off the mark, especially since he gave up the run with 2 gone in the third, when Rizzuto had walked, stole second, and took third on a bad throw by Seminick, and Coleman singled him home. 2-0 pitch. Strike 1 call. Caught the inside corner with a pretty fat hook. Slender number 42, Jerry Coleman. Born in San Jose, living in San Francisco, California. 2-1. 2 gone. The pitch. Low and outside. Ball 3. Now the crowd begins murmuring. They sense, of course, that the Yankees did something similar before, and there is a power driver coming up. Yogi Berra. Should Coleman stay alive? And on percentage, Yogi would be due since he is hitless today. Now, 3-1. Got to make this one good. He pitches. Strike 2 ball. Full count. Now Coleman steps out for a moment, tugging on his cap, digs in, getting a toe hold. Full count. Coleman steps out for a moment, tugging on his cap, digs in, getting a toe hold. String runs out. Heinzelman pitches. He swings and sends a foul just beyond third base coach Corsetti of the Yankees. Still 3-2. Ball rolls out to short left field, and Hamner jogs over to throw it out. 2-1, Phillies lead. Last half of the 8th inning. Third game of the 1950 Fall Classic. 2 men gone for New York, and Coleman 3-2. New ball in play. Heinzelman set. Pitches. High inside. Ball 4. In the bullpen, Constanti gets the sign to warm up for the Phillies. All the while, Ferrick has been heating up, and I mean, you've got to heat up today in the right field Yankee bullpen. So you have 2 premier relievers of the National and American Leagues getting set for possible duty. The runner at first, Coleman, represents the potential tying run. Berra is the batter. And Yogi looks at a high, wide pitch for ball 1. That was the 4th walk given up by Heinzelman. He touches. The pitch is taken inside around the chin. Ball 2. 2-0, and seeing that his veteran left-hander is in trouble, Seminick, the Phil's catcher, walks out to the mound to talk things over with Lefty Kent. 10 10,000 bleacher seats and standing room admissions go on sale tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here at New York Yankee Stadium. For those of you with an earshot and travel shot of this grandiose baseball arena. 2-0 to Berra. Yogi has one of the 4 passes dished out by Heinzelman. He grounded out weakly in the 4th to the pitcher and then fouled out to Simonek, the catcher. 0 for 2 and 2-0. The pitch, ball 3. Has lost the target. And ball 4. Too close and hard. And Joe DiMaggio comes up, and that automatically brings Mr. Eddie Sawyer, the Phillies pilot, out of the third base dugout. That familiar ambling walk. We note, and Mel, I think you'll bear me out, that Constanti didn't get the sign to warm up until a few moments ago. He usually takes 20 pitches, at least, varied deliveries to get himself heated up well enough to enter a ball game. Especially now with the tying run at second base, the lead run at first base, 2 men out in the last of the 8th, and the Phillies leading 2-1. Did you see Constanti get up a short while ago?
Just a moment ago. That's right, Gene. He's almost had time to get his 20 pitches in, but not too much time really to get really warm.
Heinzelman will oftentimes run the count full, as he did when he walked Holman. But when he lost Berra on 3-0, Sawyer became a bit concerned. They are leaving Heinzelman in the game, and he is facing the man who broke up yesterday's struggle in the 10th inning, Joe DiMaggio, with 1 for 3. This is the big moment for Yankee hope. Time is called, and Heinzelman strolls off the mound, pounding ball into glove all the way. Simonek jogs out. DiMaggio, phlegmatic in appearance, a great performer in his 9th World Series. The heat's on. Heinzelman in the stretch with runners at first and second. Delivers. Inside high. Joe had to back away, twisting his neck on that one. Ball 1. He fly to Anderson right in the 1st, singled to short left in the 4th, and fly to left in the 6th. Ball 2 is wide. 2-0. Due next is Hank Bauer. There are 2 men gone. Berra at first base, Jerry Coleman at second for the Yankees. Phillies lead 2-1. Last of the 8th. 2-0 pitch. Wide and high. Ball 3. If nothing else, this has allowed Constanti to get warmer. For he is now 3-0 to DiMaggio. He pitches. Ball 4. And now I believe that they are going to call Jim Constanti into the ball game. Bauer is signaled toward the Yankee dugout by Stengel as they'll talk over offensive strategy. The bases are loaded on 3 straight walks to Coleman, Berra, and DiMaggio with 2 men out. And Constanti is being waved in from the Phil bullpen. As he makes the long trip from left field, we pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System. Back at Yankee Stadium in New York, Jim Constanti is greeted with cheers, starting in left, which will probably pick up as he walks in toward the mound. He, of course, broke the all-time record for relief appearances and game appearances by a single pitcher, going to the Knolls 74 different times during the 1950 season. He was a surprise starter in the opening game of the World Series and virtually matched Rashi pitch for pitch. He lost 1-0 and allowed New York 4 hits and 1 run earned in the 8 innings he worked. Heinzelman will now be retired after having hurled 7 2/3 innings. He has given up 1 run earned and 4 hits, but he has walked 6 men and apparently, undoubtedly, as a matter of fact, was tiring. He just wasn't near the plate at all on DiMaggio, and to Berra, he was 3-0. That means that he threw 4, 8, 9 straight bad pitches. Here's a hand for Heinzelman. imagine even the most optimistic of Heinzelman's personal supporters have been surprised that he worked this long. Concerning Constanti's work in relief, Sawyer has oft-times said, give me a pitcher who hurls 7 effective innings to tie them or head them by just one, and then Constanti will do the rest. He is not necessarily a cold-weather performer and was ineffective in the latter stages of the campaign. But he certainly proved his worth and, of course, did not make Sawyer look bad when he started out. Now the man who has a tremendous World Series batting average, Bobby Brown, who was 3 for 8 on this series, and before it was 9 for 15 for a total of 12 for 23. Now, how's that for batting average? That's about a 525 batting average in World Series play. He, of course, got the skimming double off what Constanti said was his slider pitch. And it was the one blow which set up the run that won the game for Vic Gracchi in the 4th inning on the opening day of the Classic. So he is going to swing for Hank Bauer, who, though a long ball hitter, single is playing percentage now. He sends the left-handed swinger up there, Doc Brown. 2 men out. The bases loaded. Constanti into the familiar windup. Delivers. Low, ball 1. Usually, these are the situations that Constanti revels in. He steps off to grab the powder. This is the last of the 8th, a real exciting frame. 3 walks, bases loaded. 1-0 pitch. A swing and a foul. Upstairs. Out of play. Strike 1. We meant to describe Constanti's palm ball to you on opening day. He holds the ball at the base of his forefinger and middle finger and releases the fingers on the pitch at the last instant. It breaks down, and unlike many other palm balls, which are used as change-ups by hurlers, it has spin to it and breaks away suddenly. He mixes it with a slider and screwball. He's ready for 1-1 pitch. Brown swings, a foul. Behind the plate, strike 2. This is the 10th inning because the Yankee power already has been up, considering that Berra and DiMaggio will hit that long ball for you. And that Coleman has played very great baseball in this series. Coleman at third, Berra at second, DiMaggio at first. The count is 1-2 on Bobby Brown, batting for Hank Bauer. Against reliever Jim Constanti. The right-hander hits, throws. He swings and lofts the foul toward left. Mayo races for the ball but can't make it. Defensively now, you know, Mayo has supplanted Sisler in left field. Ashburn in center. Ennis in right. The infield is Pat. Waitkus, Goliath, Hamner, and Jones. And Constanti and Seminick decide to talk a little bit out there midway between mound and plate. 2-1, Phillies lead, but the Yankees are in a threat. The bases loaded with 2 gone. Now Constanti in a motion, throws. He swings and comes a ground ball to Hamner. How about it? He bobbles it. The run scores. The ball hit near the middle, but Hamner charged up and had plenty of time for a force on DiMaggio at second. But he lost the handle and a tying run scored. That, of course, was an unearned run. That would have represented the 3rd out. Coleman comes in. There is no RBI. Berra moves to 3rd. DiMaggio to 2nd. Brown on at first on Hamner's error. And time is called. Our runner, Jackie Jensen, will move into the game for Doc Brown. Jackie Jensen, the California football flash who turned to baseball. Bonus rookie with the Yankees. Husky blonde. Constanti set the pitch to Myers. Low, ball 1. It's brand new again. 2-2. Last of the 8th. Now this is a game fraught with thrills. The errors, however, have played an important part. The fielding lapses. 1-0 Demise. Strike one called. Snap throw to third, and the run-up error is back. As a matter of fact, after Hamner had bobbled the ball, Berra got back safely on that last play. The throw to Jones is a bit high. 1-1 Demise. Pitch, swings and misses. Strike two. That's the second Phil error in this game. Semenuk having had committed one earlier. 1-2 count. The Constanti pitch. Mize swings and zips the foul wide of the bag along the first base line by a foot. The line umpire, Bill McKinley out there, throws it out of play. Red clay serves as the protective warning to fielders as they run the other stands for chances on the outfield and the foul territory and the infield. Still 1-2 on Johnny Mize. Bases loaded with the Yankees. Two guys ready for the pitch. He throws. He swings. There's a high pop near the stands at third. Jones going over near it and makes it. Well, that was an exciting eighth inning. The Yankees score one run unearned. There were 3 walks given up to Heinzelman, and the run is charged to him. The error was made by Hamner as Brown batted for Bauer facing Constanti. There were no hits. There was 1 error, and 3 Yankees were left on. 8 innings, score ties. The Phillies 2, the Yankees 2. Men, modern Gillette one-piece razors are the finest shaving instruments money can buy. They give you slick, good-looking shaves, comfortably, and save you time as well. You see, there's nothing to take apart or put together. You change blades instantly. What's more, to clean, you just loosen the holder, rinse, and shake. Buy a Gillette one-piece razor. Any model you select includes a supply of Gillette Blue Blades and is attractively packaged in a permanent travel case. The base on balls has proven a big nemesis to the Phil's pitchers today. The Yankees scored on a walk to Rizzuto with 2 gone, a stolen base by Phil, and a bad throw by Semenuk, allowing him to move to third. Then Coleman drilled him home with a single to left. Virtually the same thing happened in the 8th, except that this time Heinzelman lost the mark entirely. On the hook for this game will be the relief pitchers for the time being, with Big Tom Ferrick moving in. Now, Joe Collins, who was nurtured in the Yankee farm system, is going to be the first baseman, and Woodling, who batted for Lopat, is going to play left field. That means Woodling will bat 9th. And it means that Collins will bat number 5. Brown, you see, batted for Bauer, and Jensen ran for him. So Collins has moved into the number 5 slot right now in your batting array. Constanti's and Ferrick's game now, either to win or to lose. Both Lopat and Heinzelman are off the hook. Now, as to which pitcher outpitched which, in this ball game, you might say that Heinzelman was naturally more effective. The runs scored on the error, but he did display vast ineffectiveness by passing the 3 men, Coleman, Berra, and DiMaggio. However, officially at least, gainsaying the fact that the walks did cause trouble, the error was the big boost. Ferrick's record, appearing in 46 games, both as a Brownie and a Cardinal, 81 innings pitched. He won 9 and lost 7. Brownie and a Yankee, of course, St. Louis Browns, New York Yankees. Came to the Yanks in that big trade at midseason. So the adopted Philadelphian faces Granny Hamner. Right-hander delivers. Hamner swings. A long drive to left center field. DiMaggio going way back. Can't get it. Rolling toward the wall. Here's Hamner moving to second base. But a great save by DiMaggio holds him to 2. A great save. A double by Hamner. That is his 3rd World Series double and his 3rd hit in the ball game. That was a tremendous drive, at least 400 feet away from home plate, and in Shy Park was a home run. DiMaggio running toward the ball, picked up the ball with his bare hand while it was hopping, and but for that, Hamner would have had 3. Time is called. Semenuk conversing with Sawyer. And And Hamner runs in from the bag at second to talk things over with his skipper and bench policeman Benny Bengoff. Well, I believe that ball was hit as long as any in the series, including Joe's jolt yesterday. It dropped down there pretty close to the red clay, and Joe, of course, made a great play on it, running away from the infield. So Hamner picks up a towering double, number 3 in the series. The infield moseys up closely. Seminick is the batter, 1 for 2 officially, a single, a strikeout, and a sacrifice. Turek in the stretch, delivering high outside, a pitch out. Ball 1. Berra shifted to his own right in an effort perhaps to keep Hamner alive at second base. Rizzuto is close to the bag as the shortstop. Turek in the stretch checks him. Delivers. There's a pop to third, a scoop. The runner runs to third base, and here's the throw to first in time. Johnson had a chance to grab that ball on a fly, but preferred to scoop it up and possibly hold Hamner at second base. Instead, Hamner, with Rizzuto near the bag, ran behind the third baseman Johnson and virtually waltzed into the hot corner, and Seminick, who could hardly run at all, limped down to first base. Johnson held on to the ball like it was a hot potato. It goes as a sacrifice. It moves Hamner to third base, and the play is Johnson to the first baseman, Joe Collins. That was really a unique play, and I'm sure will be talked about tonight. They're going to put Goliat on, and Whitman is going to bat for Constanti. There's ball 1 wide, and Turek throws wide again, ball 2. Well, I've never seen one like that in quite a while. It appeared as though Johnson just didn't know what to do with the ball, but that his first thought was to let the ball drop so that he could scoop it up and make sure that he could check the man at second and throw Seminick out at first. The ball on the fly, he still would have held a man at second who was way off the bag. I think the fact that second wasn't covered at the time confused Bill, because you see on the bunt the second baseman was moving over to first to cover, and Rizzuto was near the bag. So Goliat has now been passed intentionally. Hamner is at third. There was one man out, and Whitman will bat for Constanti. So Sawyer must give up Constanti to a pinch hitter. Whitman has been walked once in the World Series in his previous lone appearance. He bats left-handed. The infield is all the way in. Tom Turek in the stretch. Delivers. High and wide. Ball 1. This is the top of the ninth. The score is tied 2-2. We've had a lot of excitement here. For you fans on Gillette's Cavalcade of Sports broadcast. 1-0 pitch. Wide. But on the corner for called strike 1. On the corner. He threw him outside and caught in the corner. Strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. One gone. Runners on at first and third. The stretch by Turek. He pitches. 6 swings. A fly. Lofted foul on a play. First base side and downstairs. Strike 2. Whitman is from Oregon. First day, he says, you reckon those folks out in Eugene, Oregon are happy about the way the Phillies played? He was born in Woodburn and will celebrate his 30th birthday the 9th of next month. 5'11", 170. It's a square-shouldered chap with sharp features, and he is now making the bid in his second World Series. He played, you see, for Brooklyn last season. So there's a fellow that's really been playing in good fortune. 1-2 count. Whitman, the pinch hitter for Constanti. Turek hides the ball behind his right knee. Gets the sign, moves into the stretch. Delivers. Whitman swings. A ground foul. First base side, just to the right of the Yankee dugout. Still 1-2. Top of the ninth. There's a heart stopper this ball game. 2-2 tie. One gone, two on. Goliath at first, Hamner at third. Infield still close. Eric has the peculiar sign of hiding the ball behind his right knee. Ready on 1-2 pitch. Slow stretch. Delivers. The swing, a slow ground ball toward first. Collins up with it. Go to the plate. He is out. Fielder's choice play and a fine one by first backer Joe Collins. The reserves today and the bench of Stengel is again asserting itself. If not offensively, then certainly defensively. And here comes Casey again out of the New York dugout. Waitkus is the batter. There are two gone. The play went to first baseman Joe Collins to the catcher Yogi Berra, who planted his compact body to guard the plate to on-rushing runner Granny Hamner. That's two down. Goliath moving to second. And Hamner retired at the plate. That's what we call a 3-2 play if you're keeping score on a radio scorecard today. Boy, they're pulling the stoppers out on the strategy today. The veteran campaigner Stengel, who was once a Phil. And now we have another move by Zoya, a runner for Goliath. Goliath is what might be termed medium fast with his feet. And Ralph Caballero, New Orleans lad, is making his second pinch running appearance of the World Series. Running for Goliath. So that means that the game, of course the game will move into the last of the ninth. Bloodworth would be the second baseman for the Phillies. C-A-B-A-L-L-E-R-O. Now Waitkus is the batter. 1 for 4. Swings left-handed. Runners leading off first and second. Big Ferret in the motion. Delivers. Strike one call. His inner defense came to his rescue that time. And it forced the Phils to give up their ace reliever, Constanti, you see. So that Stengel's move for the time being looks sharp for the second guesses tonight. Nothing in one to Waitkus. The pitch. He swings, sends a high fly to short right. Moving in on the ball. Cliff Nates calling for it. He has it. Guy's retired. And a big Phil threat is snuffed out on fine relief pitching by Tom Derrick and an alert Yankee defense, which for the moment committed an error of omission when Billy Johnson, the third baseman, forgot for the moment as to where to throw the ball. So the side is retired in the top of the ninth. No runs. One hit, a double by Hamner, which is erased at the plate. A walk thrown in intentionally. No errors by the Yankees. And two Phils left on. At the end of 8 1/2. Moving to the nub end now. A 2-2 tie. And let's see what manager Eddie Sawyer has to offer up in the way of a relief hurler. He has not as yet made his appearance. Now moving out, Russ Meyer. This is his second relief appearance. He gave up one hit in the first game when he, in turn, relieved Constanti as a starter. It was a topper down the third baseline on which Jones couldn't handle and then retired the side without any further trouble after that. So he has hurled one inning of series play. His National League seasonal record with the Phillies, 9-11. So Sawyer is going with Meyer, who has some of the finest breaking stuff in the National League. He throws a whip crack curve and a screwball. Well, Mel, are we going to have a marathon again today?
Hard to say, Gene, but I know as far as the fans are concerned, maybe they don't care. Maybe they would like to have some extra innings because they love their baseball.
Well, the big break in the game, of course, has been the bobble of shortstop. And the Phils certainly had a grand opportunity in the top of the ninth on Hamner's double. And when you consider the fact that Johnson did not catch Semenuk's hard hit bunt pop on the fly, you again see the Yankee traditional courage being shored up. Also, DiMaggio's play and saving the double that could have easily been a triple against any other center fielder. Now, Jimmy Bloodworth moves in as a second baseman. He's a veteran campaigner of both leagues. He played for both Detroit and Washington, for the Pittsburgh Pirates, for the Cincinnati Reds, and was secured in a deal on the 11th of May from the Reds by the Phillies. As the utility infielder, has done a grand job. Now Russ Meyer in the last of the ninth. He faces Billy Johnson, the third baseman. The curve is low and wide. Ball one. Johnson to be followed by Cliff Mapes, and then the pitcher, Tom Ferrick. Last of the ninth, tie score 2-2. The pitch, strike one call, overhand curveball. Meyer very rarely throws a straight ball except on a waste pitch or a bait. He'll throw the hook and the screwball. 1-1. Lanky right-hander delivers wide. Ball two. 2-1. Johnson is 0 for 3. He struck out twice to Heinzelman and bounced out third to first. 2-1 strikeout. Meyer winding delivery. Ball three, low inside. That first man on in a tie game at the nub end, of course, is the big break. That an explosive club such as the Yanks, though all three games have been tighter than drums. 3-1. He throws. Strike two called. Another down-breaking jug-handle curve. Heinzelman hurled the first 7 2/3. Constanti got the final man out in the 8th, but he went out for the pinch hitter, as Sawyer had a gamble to take away his ace reliever. The full count to Billy Johnson. The big pitch. He swings. A line drive deep to left. Mayo moving back, grabs it. He almost overplayed the ball, moving back, and then moved in a stride, planted his feet on the sod, and speared it for the putout. 1 down. Now Mapes. The big bit for the Yankee home run came from another left-handed swinger, Johnny Mize, who is now out of the game. Here is Mapes, batting left-handed. Takes strike one call. The screwball caught the outside corner. It's a fast pitch. That is thrown, of course, with a wrist breaking in. And away to left-handed batters from a right-hander. Second pitch. Strike two call. That screwball broke a foot. This fellow is a tremendous campaigner, Meyer. He, of course, has been his own worst enemy at times, inclined to curb his temper, but he has an enormous desire to win. 0-2. One away, nobody on. Last of the ninth, tie scored 2-2. Russ Meyer delivers. Mapes swings and misses. Struck him out. Now, Woodling, that is the pitcher, of course, is moved up in the slot. Woodling, who is the left fielder. The pitcher would then bat 5th, and the first baseman, Collins, would move up 6th. The batting order should read Rizzuto, Coleman, Berra, DiMaggio. The pitcher, Collins, Johnson, Mapes, and Woodling, who is batting in 9th position, but playing left field. Batting left-handed, Meyer delivers. Strike one call. This is the second trip for Gene. He popped out to short as a pinch hitter for Lopat in the 8th inning. Swings and cuts the foul behind the plate on a ball that was delivered high and was starting to break down low. Gene was trying to meet the ball on a hanging break and got a lazy foul rolling behind the plate. Strike two. Strike two. Two gone, nobody on. Last half of the 9th inning. Woodling, left-handed swinger. Meyer way ahead, 0-2. Score tied, 2-2. In the big, majestic motion. He kicks, delivers. As a hopper over the mound. Moving in, Bloodworth. Up with it. Stops it. Goes to first. Not in time. Up, down, up again. Thrown out in time. It may go. No, it goes as an error on the base hit. They switched off. An infield single to the second baseman. Scratch. Now Rizzuto. That was was a high chopping ball that went behind the mound. Bloodworth charged it, and in an anxiety to throw to first, lost it entirely. But it went as a single to the second baseman. Strike one called on Rizzuto. Third ball. Bill is 0 for 2 officially. He was passed twice by Heinzelman. Popped to second and bounced out to third. All trips again, Heinzelman. As a matter of fact, he was the second out before Ken walked 3 Yankees in a row in that big 8th inning. 0-1 to Bill. The pitch. Ball 1. Just a bit, weeds a bit low and outside. 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 gone. Runner at first base, Gene Woodley. Meyer in a big stretch. 6 throws. A swing, a line drive, a sweep save by Bloodworth. The runner kicks the ball. The runner kicks the ball, and he may. Now he calls him safe. Bloodworth dived to his own right in an effort to trap the ball, which he did, but it scooted back to the bag. In the meantime, Woodling slid, but was already in the bag when the ball hit his foot. So, as far as Conlon was concerned, he had reached base safely. He had reached second court, and thus did not kick the ball while in actual play. It was one of those things having already touched the fielder. So everybody is safe, and it goes as a single off the second baseman. Play, Bloodworth made a game effort, you see, to move the ball, kick it almost, as a matter of fact, back to the bag so that Hamner could pick the ball up to try to fourth, but it went for naught. We see no Philly bullpen activity. The Yankees have runners on at first and second. Woodling at second. Rizzuto with a single. At first. The first hit, of course, was a scratcher. The second was a pretty well-hit ball, and Bloodworth made a college try effort on it, preventing it from rolling to the outfield. Now, Jerry Coleman, who knocked in the first run. Though the Yankees have scored 2, the second run officially was not batted in. It came home on an error. Bobby Brown was batting for Hank Bauer with the bases loaded and 2 gone in the 8th inning. And as Hamner raced towards second base to pick it up and force out DiMaggio coming in, he lost the handle. Well, we've had some odd fielding plays, but it's one of those kind of games on which the fans peer forward, edge forward on their seats, ready for the break. Now the right-hander Meyer facing Coleman, a right-handed batter. Delivers. Strike one called. Curveball. It's a rough inning now. Last of the 9th. And a do-or-die threat by the Yankees here at the tail end of the regulation distance. No ball, 1 strike count. He checks his second. He comes to the plate. A high curve, too close. Ball 1. Jerry has 2 hits. And he lined into a double play, and he had a walk thrown in. Matter of fact, he batted in first run and scored the second for New York. That came in the 8th inning. Yankees scored their first and the third, and the Phillies the 6th and the 7th. With a great opportunity wiped out in the 9th. 1-1 count to Coleman. The delivery, the swing, a fly ball toward deep left center field. Moving over for the ball. Can't get it. Game close. Throws it a single. The Yankees win. 3-2. Coming across the plate is Gene Woodling. They were playing him shallow, and the ball dropped in between Ashburn and Jackie Mayo in left center field, and Jerry Coleman thus becomes the hitting hero of the New York Yankees, who consequently sweep the first 3 games of the World Series, all by 1-run margin. 1-0, 2-1, and 3-2. And Russ Meyer, of course, is a very, very unhappy person right now as he slopes toward the dugout and gives his outfielders a dark look. For 2 speedy men, Mayo and Ashburn could not catch up with the ball. So the winning run is scored and is earned with 2 out. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on. The New York York Yankees, 3 runs, 7 hits, no errors. The Phillies, 2 runs, 10 hits, 2 errors. The winning pitcher is Ferrick. The losing pitcher is Meyer. A great ball game, fraught with consistent thrills all afternoon, with a big break game when Hamner erred in the 8th to allow the tying run to score, and the Yanks wiped out a big Phil threat in the top of the 9th. And that's all she wrote before 64,505 this afternoon on Gillette's Cavalcade of Sports.